One of the biggest questions when we move into retirement is when do we start taking from our investment accounts? But even more importantly, which ones do I take from first? Let's talk to financial advisor Stuart Chamberlin, the founder of Chamberlin Financial. Stuart, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
You know, I just started to kind of tally in my head the different accounts that I have, from investment accounts to 401ks to rollovers. Then I think if you have a spouse that they have a whole bunch of accounts, when do I start withdrawing from them, and which ones do I do first?
That's a great question. Well, the first rule of thumb is you start withdrawing when you have to withdraw. So if you have an income need, obviously you need to cover that income need. But the first thing we want to look at is, do you have other sources that are not qualified? Because in a qualified account, you've been kicking the can down the road for years. You're going to get taxed the most on every single dollar coming out of a retirement plan, a 401k or IRA, anything that's been deferred for decades. Mm-hmm. You're going to pay ordinary income tax on every single dollar. Okay, so once you understand that, we look at other sources that can create income that are not tax deferred, they're non-qualified. You want to tap into those sources first, because you get taxed the least. You're going to get taxed on the amount above and beyond your original cost basis versus going and withdrawing funds or taking distributions on a qualified account.
Now, I'm going to throw another one in there, though, and I kind of think of it myself as an account. I've often heard of it like a $1 million annuity that people don't put a lot of planning into, but should I take from my retirement accounts, or should I turn on my Social Security as soon as I get to retirement and draw from that? So for me, it's kind of the chicken or the egg. Do I take Social Security, or do I take from my investment accounts, or which one do I let grow? Or do
well, it depends a lot, again, on your age, and that the thought that trough year, if you're the age you are when you retire and the age of taking your actual maximum Social Security benefits, or where you're forced to take RMDs, where you might not be working, so your income taxes are lower. And if you start taking income from another source, how are you going to get taxed, the least? You want to focus in on reducing that exposure to taxation. So it depends a lot on your age and where you're at. So you have to look at the big picture.
Yeah.
If you retire early, let's say at 62, you want to start taking income from something that, if possible, that is not going to affect your overall income tax.
Yeah. When people first come to your office, have they already turned on their Social Security? Are they already taking from their investment accounts? Or is it just kind of that first month of retirement and they're like, which one am I supposed to do first? And how do you pull it together for folks? I mean, like, would you tell me, let's say I came in with this, but would you tell me which accounts, or do you have a dashboard, or would you do it for us? How does it work with a financial advisor?
Well, both situations. I mean, I've had people come in that, haven't turned on their Social Security, and some people come in that have turned it on. So it's just, everyone's different. You get everything thrown at you at once. But first thing I do is I take a look at where they're at right now. What's their income like right now? What are their income needs? How it's going to be taxed for the future. I take into effect inflation. That's a big issue that needs to be solved also. So we got to factor in inflation. Do they have some sort of level payment, meaning it's fixed? If we turn this on, but it doesn't increase ever? Or do you have one that has a cost of living adjustment in there, so we know we're going to get this amount of increase each year to help fight inflation? Mm-hmm. If we turn this source on here, they're going to get this amount of income starting from day one. Or if we turn on their Social Security or activate Social Security, we know that this is all they're going to get. So we want to make sure that whatever we do, everything works in conjunction to complement each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and making sure then that we also do it, because I've heard you say it a few different times now, tax efficiently. We've been kicking that can down the road for 2 or 3 decades. And you can also help kind of with that tax evaluation from these accounts as well? Well,
yeah. I mean, if we take a look at all their assets. I mean, if they're not paying a mortgage anymore, they don't have the write-off of interest on the mortgage. They don't own a business anymore, so they don't get those write-offs. Or maybe they have a side business where we can, take advantage of the write-offs there, offsetting income. So we want to take a look at all those situations. But usually in retirement, you're usually spending less. you're making less, so your income tax is typically lower, and we want to keep that as low as possible.
Right. Well, Stuart, thank you very much. Folks, it can be a very complicated question. You might have several accounts between yourself, maybe even your spouse as well. Which accounts do you take from first? We want to make sure that you've got a spending plan that makes sense for you, that you can't run out of in retirement, and that is also tax efficient. If you're not sure how to check off those boxes, you can talk here with Stuart Chamberlin, the founder of Chamberlin Financial and a financial advisor himself.